Hello class. Today's topic is your solar energy. So we'll go ahead with it. So the learning outcome of this session is expected to be understand the solar energy and the principles of solar radiation, and also we are required to identify the different measuring instruments of the solar energy. So before we proceed with it, let's first understand what is solar energy. Now, this term is not at all new to anyone. It is very well known to everyone. But we'll go with the technical measurement parameters into the solar energy. So as we all know, the solar energy is the energy that comes from the sun. It is approximately around 2.8 into 10 to the power 23 kilowatt per year, which is a huge amount of solar energy. But out of that, only a certain amount of energy that reach up to earth is around 1.5 into 10 to the power 18 kilowatt hour per year. That is again not a small quantity, it's a huge amount. So we have a huge scope to extract solar energy from the atmosphere. So the power density of the sunlight is known as irradiance, and the energy density of the sunlight is known as the irradiation, which is measured in kilowatt hour per meter square. So these terms are equivalent with your power and energy. So power is known as the irradiance in terms of sunlight, and energy is known as irradiation again in terms of sunlight. Okay. So now the solar constant. There is one more term related with the solar energy, that is your solar constant. It is the rate at which energy reaches the earth's surface from the sun. And this solar constant, this term includes the all types of solar radiation, not just the visible light. Okay, so why solar constant is important? Solar constant is important for the study of heat exchange process in the earth's atmosphere, and for the investigation of the processes that are occurring in the sun. So solar constant is an important term in that regards. Since Earth's surface is slightly elliptical, it rotates in slightly elliptical orbit around the sun. So the distance between the sun and Earth is not constant throughout the year. So it is the distance gets reduced during the first week of January, and it gets larger as it proceeds further, and around in the month of July, the distance gets increased. Okay, so since that distance is varying throughout the year, so the solar constant quantity is not a constant one. It is actually a variable one, but it is called as solar constant because it gives you the value of the rate at which the energy reaches the Earth's surface. Okay, so the sunlight energy that is incident on the outer surface of the Earth is called as the extraterrestrial radiation. The radiations that reach on the Earth's surface is called as the terrestrial radiations, and the radiation that received on the flat surface on Earth is called as the solar insolation. So when we go with the design part of the solar system, what we have to look into is the solar insolation, because that is the radiation that has been received on the Earth's surface. So now there are basically two principles of solar radiation. One is the absorption and the second one is the scattering. Again, in scattering there are three different methods. That there we have a direct beam, the radiations that are directly falling onto the surface. Then you have the diffused beam, and that is it gets diffused from the surface and then reach down to the ground. And then you have global radiation. So global radiation is a combination of direct and diffused both. So it's a combination of the first two radiations. Okay, so that are the principles of solar radiation. Okay, so now comes the question that if we are planning to design a solar system, first of all you need to measure how much solar energy is reaching up onto the ground surface. Then only we can proceed it after looking into it whether the system is going to be an efficient one or not. So obviously the first step would be to measure the amount of sunlight that is falling onto the ground. So for that there are few special instruments available, and out of that first one is a pyranometer. So we can easily see the picture. There we have it's a dome like structure, and there you have two strips, the black one and it's a blue one ship, right? So these two plates, they are actually forming the 2 points of a thermocouple. Okay, so this black black metal, it allows to absorb the radiations. okay, so as to it will be able to measure the radiation. Okay, and then you have the cold strip, the cold metal strip. So the temperature difference between these two helps you to find out the radiation. So basically the pyranometer, it works on the principle of thermocouple. Then second instrument is your pyrheliometer. Okay, this instrument is again used to measure the solar radiations. Okay, so this instrument particularly, see, it looks like an tubical form. In case of pyranometer, you had a dome like structure, so the radiations were falling onto this dome surface, and the radiations were getting diffused on this surface. Okay, so the pyranometer instrument considers the diffused sunlight. Okay, but the pyrheliometer, if you look at it, see here, all the radiations are not getting into it. So since it's a tube kind structure, only the beam radiation, that is the direct beam radiations, are getting entered into this instrument, and that is at an acceptance angle of 5 degree only. So here only the direct beam radiations will be entered into the tube, and again it is allowed to fall onto the thermopile, that is again forming a thermocouple. So again the principle remains the same, that you're following the you're having a surface at a different temperature and the other one at a cold temperature. So the temperature difference can be measured, and it is then converted into electrical signal and would help you to find out the solar radiation. Okay, so see, the only difference is that in case of pyranometer, you had a dome like structure, so their radiations that were getting incident on the surface were getting diffused and then falling onto the black surface. And in case of pyrheliometer, you have the only direct beam radiation. Okay, next one is the sunshine recorder. Again, this one is also a very interesting instrument that is used to measure the amount of sunshine that is falling onto the ground. This instrument, it basically uses a glass sphere. See, it is visible in the diagram. It uses a glass sphere that concentrates the sunlight onto a card. Here you can see this plus sign, so these are visible. This looks like a silicon wafer. So on this plate, it concentrates the sunlight onto this card, and the amount of scorching that happens here, that gives you an idea about the amount of sunlight that had fallen onto it. So see here, the pictures of these cards has been shown. These cards are placed onto this surface, so this glass sphere helps to concentrate sunlight onto this surface. So see here, you can find there's been scorching done on this cards. So this scorching gives you an idea about amount of sunlight that is falling onto the surface. Okay, so that is again one of the instrument. And then here, see, I have shown you the diagram of pyranometer. This is in pyranometer. It's a dome-like structure, and see, this one is your pyrheliometer. It's a tubical kind of structure. See here, it has given as an opening, or we can say it's an acceptance angle of only 5 degree. Okay, so it makes a restriction that in case of pyranometer, we can measure the diffused sunlight energy. So when you're talking about diffused, the direct beam radiations are also get included. So the pyranometer measures the global solar radiation, that is diffused and dim both. Okay, diffused and direct beam radiation both. So it measures the global radiation. But whereas pyrheliometer, since it has an acceptance angle of around 5 degree, so it measures only the direct solar irradiance. Okay, so that is we can say a restriction for both the instruments. So mostly these two instruments are used in conjunction with each other. So they both give you the complete data of the solar radiation, both global and the direct solar radiation. So that was all for this session. So with this session, I hope we are cleared with the concepts, solar energy, what is solar energy, the different principles of solar radiation, and the different instrument that can be used to measure the solar radiation. Okay. So that's all for now. Thank you.